This video will introduce you to concept maps. Concept maps are a way that you can map together any elements of your NVivo project and your own thoughts and ideas. As such, a concept map is a little bit like the mixture of a project map and a mind map. The exception here is that all connections in a concept map must be drawn by you. To create a concept map, start by going to the Explore ribbon and in the Maps area choose Concept Map. To start, you'll have to give this a name. I'm going to call this Thoughts on Coding. And then click OK. You'll see I have both the option to add shapes and project items. I'm going to start off by adding some project items. While I can drag and drop these from the interface, I've chosen to go through the menu this time, and I'm going to start to choose some of the themes. I'm going to bring in economy, agriculture, tourism, jobs and the cost of living, infrastructure, and natural environment, and then click OK. Unlike the project map, there's no links between these, but I can manually represent them by making my own connections. I can see there's a direct link between jobs and the cost of living and economy. There's also a link between natural environment and agriculture, economy and agriculture, economy and tourism, and economy and infrastructure. Infrastructure also impacts the natural environment and impacts agriculture and impacts tourism. Already this diagram is looking quite complicated, so I'm going to move the objects around to better relate the relationships I can see between these themes. To better see this map, I'm going to zoom in to make these items bigger. If I want to add something to this concept map that isn't represented in any of the project items, I can use the shapes. I'm going to use this down triangle to represent pressure by dragging it out onto the model. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger and hover it just over next to the economy. If I want to add text to this, I can double click and start typing. The more I think about this, both the economy and the natural environment is under pressure, so I'm going to rearrange my diagram a little bit more to represent this new thinking. Now that I have the basic layout for my diagram set, I'm going to tweak it further. At the moment you can see all of my connectors are currently one way. If I click on any of them, I have the option to change this. For example, I think agriculture and the natural environment influence each other, so I'm going to right click and change this connector to symmetrical, and I can now see that this is a two-way relationship. Likewise, tourism and the economy have a similar kind of relationship, so I'm going to influence this connection as well. I'm going to move natural environment back over here to try and indicate the pressure that I was trying to represent originally. And I'm going to move this triangle a little bit. I feel like the triangle needs to be bolder, so I'm going to click on it and you'll see I have the option to change the colour. I've got the option to change all of the font details as well, so I'm going to make this much bigger and much bolder to really highlight the pressure that I can see. As you can see, it can quite often take some time until you're happy with how these diagrams look. I feel I'm missing one more thing, the element of people. So I'm going to drag out this people symbol and I'm going to create some connectors between that and jobs of cost of living and tourism. Just as I did with the triangle, I'm going to change this colour and resize the shape until I'm happy with it. When you're finally happy with your diagram, you can right click and choose to export this map. You'll be able to save it as a whole variety of common image formats for use elsewhere. Concept maps are a really good way for you to play with the ideas within your project. Think aloud as you're doing it and see if you can represent how things are connecting in your research.